Good afternoon. Welcome to the Baseball and Beer Podcast. I'm your host, John Ney. I'd like to start off by wishing everybody a happy Labor Day. It's been a beautiful weekend. A lot of activity going on with the Phillies. I'm sure people down the shore at the beach and all. The weather's beautiful. Another great day today. And with that being said, we're drinking Sam Adams Oktoberfest as the seasons are starting to change. September 1st today. We'll kick off the Oktoberfest month around the 12th, so they're out early. And, it's a good beer, one of my favorites. So, let's jump right into what's going on with the Phillies this week. So, the Phillies are coming off a tough series in New York, where they were swept. Seeing their lead drop down to 4 games before they rebounded nicely coming home against the Braves, taking 3 of 4, and the Mets lost a couple at home to Miami, so the lead is back up to 6 as we start the final month of the season today. So Phillies are in a pretty good spot, folks. We got 25 to play. They have a couple tough series this month, starting today with Milwaukee. They got the Mets for 4 more at home, and then they head out for a tough 6-game road stand later in September to LA and Arizona. That could be the series with LA. That could decide who's going to be the second seed this year for the playoffs, and it's going to get the bye and not have to play in that first 3-game wild card scenario. So, second seed's probably important for this team. Currently, right now, if the Phillies were to finish in third, it would most likely be the Mets in 6th. And that would set up a 3-game homestand at Citizens Bank Park versus the Mets, which obviously is much better than being up in Citi Field in New York, where the Phillies have struggled mightily, as we have seen. 6 losses this year up there. Lost both playoff games to them up there last year. So not a place we want to end up. So, 3 games at home would be a little better. But if we could avoid that first round in 3 games, get the bye, come in second, that would probably be the best scenario for this team. Could set their rotation up for the 5-game NLDS. Currently it would be the Dodgers playing the Mets. So, either way, you're going to get a tough draw. But, it'd be better to be at home, be better to have that bye. The Phillies, they made a couple interesting moves. Dombrowski picked up reliever Tim Mayza. He's been a pretty decent pitcher when healthy. He's had some injuries. But this could be a nice, sneaky, under-the-radar move for the Phillies. He's a lefty. That'll help in the bullpen. We all know Alvarado is going to be inactive for the playoffs. He's ineligible to play. So it'd be nice to have another lefty down there with Strom and Banks. They also made a move yesterday. They picked up Walker Buehler. An interesting move. I see this as a low-risk, high-reward move. They're going to send him down to AAA for a little bit to pitch. I think they said they'd bring him up around September 12th. So he'll probably be available at that point with somewhere around 16, 17 games left, 6-man rotation. Maybe he makes 2 or 3 starts, and they could see what they have there. Is there something they could find in his delivery that, has caused him to not be very good, folks? Quite honestly, the last 2 years, he was bad in LA last year. He's been bad in Boston this year. ERA hovering around 5. So maybe there's something they can correct down in the minors in a start or 2, or even up here, something they see, the analytics department, maybe they pick something up. And if they could get him even back somewhere close to what he was with LA a few years ago, that would be a great. He's got playoff experience. He'd be a great addition to this roster. Probably out of the bullpen, I would have to guess. Maybe a guy that could piggyback a Luzardo or a Nola start. Maybe Luzardo, Nola, give them 4, maybe 5. They're starting to show that, where they tend to start getting in trouble the second time through the lineup. Maybe Buehler's a guy that comes in, gives them 2 innings, gets them to the 6th, 7th, and then the bullpen. So a couple decent moves. I like them. We'll see what happens with it, where they go, and, maybe it'll work out for the Phils. Look, we got 25 to go. This team should win 12 or 13 this month, so I'm figuring somewhere around 92, 93 wins. That's going to get them the NL East. The question is it going to be good enough for that second seed, depending on what the Dodgers and Padres are doing out there? So out there in the West. So the Phils just got to take care of their own business. Finish strong here. Garrett Stubbs is apparently being called up as one of the September call-ups. They have to. They can call up a pitcher and a position player if they like. Nice little addition to have the third catcher here. That gives Thompson the option to use Marchand as a pinch hitter. He is a switch hitter, late in the game where he normally wouldn't. So that gives them that option because now they would have Stubbs, obviously, to go in and catch if needed if something was to happen to JT in that scenario. So, he's a good clubhouse guy. We all know he brings good vibes to the team. So not a bad little guy to have up for September and come playoff times. Again, we know he's one heck of a DJ in there in the locker room when they're celebrating. So he's well liked in the clubhouse. Maybe he brings a little fire, a little spunk to the team. They can get back to having a little fun, down the stretch run and the playoffs. So, that's pretty much all I have, folks, today. It's a beautiful day. Happy Labor Day to everybody as we set back, getting ready with the kids to head back to school and all colleges starting back up. And, hopefully a good month for the Phils here. And then, the playoffs. Folks, it's coming quick. It's going to be here in, October. So, it's not that far off. So, go Phils. Again, happy Labor Day to everybody. And don't forget to look for my Birds and Beers podcast before the Eagles game Thursday night. The opening game versus the Cowboys. I'll probably come on sometime around 5 or 6. And everybody have a great week. Starting back to work tomorrow. Who's ever, if you're working today, have a great week, folks. And, we got the Phillies and Brewers. And then we have the, we got the Eagles Cowboys Thursday night. So, go Phils and go Birds. Have a great weekend, folks.